So what the urban dreamscape practice is, so I've been practicing it now for a few years in San Francisco. What I do is I wake up in the morning and I think about the dream I had the night before. And then I go out and I walk, the debif, I just sort of walk. And I wait for the right place to strike my mind. And for the purposes of my practice, my neighborhood is very well bounded. This map up here shows you where I have delineated the edges of my neighborhood, which in San Francisco is sort of known as Coal Valley. And so I walk around and I wait for the place to strike me where the dream goes. So let's say I've had a dream, and in the dream, this is a dream I had the other night, there's these gray whales in shallow water, and these gray whales come over and they want to be touched. And then the gray whales start spinning around, and then there's these businessmen, these really large businessmen in suits and ties, and they're also spinning around and they're churning up the water, the whales and the businessmen. So, so I might put this dream over the Japanese restaurant that's in my neighborhood. It has a very elaborate wooden planter and a nice awning. And then there's the molding, the building next door has this lovely decorative molding along the top. And then there's this really impressive tangle of phone wires hanging there. And so I take the images of the dream. So there first was the image of I'm in the shallow water with the whales. And I mentally superimpose that onto the planter. And then the whales want to be touched. So that I put on the decorative awning above the restaurant. And then the whales begin spinning in the water. And now I've put that across the molding on the top of the building. And then the whales and the businessmen spinning and churning up the water I've put on the tangle of wires. So now I have the dream mnemonically placed where the scan of my eye will recreate the narrative structure of the dream. Now over the years, as you might imagine, my neighborhood has become incredibly layered. And so it's great for that mindfulness practice. I'm walking along and there's the bit about the tomatoes and the calling the mother and the weird guy. And I'm like, oh, there's the spinning whale. Oh yeah, there's that dream. And it's a very deep relationship with place. I mean, basically I've taken the innermost parts of my psyche and dredged them out and put them onto my environment. So I've created my neighborhood, which is a really urban space, has become this really sacred space for me. And a lot of the things that are, for me, most holy, that I'm really exploring, consciousness, the nature of subjectivity, relationship of place, the subject I am when I'm dreaming and the subject that I am in waking life, and the objective world that I walk through in waking life and the objective world that I move through in dreaming, all kind of superimposed upon each other, really brings to the fore questions about what is subjectivity, what is the objective world, what's real. So the practice has been, for me, a way of exploring these questions about what I find most numinous.